All right, welcome to this explainer on the art of the open, mastering social connection. Today, we're literally unpacking the secrets to effortless social interaction. We're going to break down some highly actionable, proven steps straight from our source material to help you totally master the art of starting a conversation. Because look, you probably know that familiar feeling, right? Standing in a crowded room, surrounded by people, yet feeling completely disconnected. The noise is loud, but that isolation, it feels even louder. Well, by the end of our time together today, we're going to fix that using practical tools you can start using right away.
So, let's jump right into Section 1, the fear of awkwardness.
Before we even get to the solutions, we've got to acknowledge that very real, honestly paralyzing hesitation we all feel. I mean, have you ever really wanted to talk to someone but just completely blanked on what to say? Think about it. A classmate you sit next to every single week, a coworker you pass in the hall, a potential new friend, or maybe just someone you deeply admire. You see them, you genuinely want to connect, but then, bam, that freezing moment hits. You just stand there, totally unsure of how to break the silence. It's this bizarre phenomenon where our brains just suddenly empty out, leaving us stranded in a sea of our own social anxiety.
And right on cue, that inner monologue starts firing on all cylinders. What if I say something awkward? What if they don't want to talk to me? What if I'm just bothering them? It's a loud, super intimidating thought loop, isn't it? And honestly, that overthinking is exactly why so many of us end up saying absolutely nothing at all. Structurally speaking, we are deeply wired to fear social rejection. It's a literal evolutionary survival mechanism. But in our modern world, that fear is totally misplaced. Because of it, we just retreat into our comfort zones, and we miss out on these incredible potential connections before they even get a chance to begin.
Which brings us to Rule 1. Start simply.
The brilliant news from our source material is that starting a conversation is actually way easier than most people think. You just have to completely stop trying to be perfect. Look, when we observe those relaxed, approachable people, it's not because they have some magical, rehearsed script loaded in their heads. No way. It's because they understand a fundamental truth of human psychology. Most people are not judging your every word. Psychologists actually call this the spotlight effect. It's our tendency to totally overestimate how much other people notice our flaws. In reality, they're usually just thinking about themselves. So, drop the massive pressure of finding the absolute perfect opening line. Don't wait for a stroke of genius. Just start. And a highly effective way to do that is simply by making a casual observation about your shared environment.
Let's look at exactly why this works. Say you're in a classroom. You can lean right on the shared experience you literally just had. You could turn to the person next to you and say, "That lecture was interesting, wasn't it?" The topic is right there, right in front of both of you, which takes away all the pressure to invent some brilliant topic out of thin air. By commenting on a shared environment, you're effectively putting both of you on the same side of the table. You're observing the world together, and that makes the interaction feel like a collaboration instead of some high-pressure interview.
Or, okay, imagine you're at the gym. You definitely don't need a complex icebreaker here. Just ask a natural, super easy to answer question about the routine or the facility itself. Something like, "How long have you been working out here?" is absolutely perfect. Now, obviously, maybe don't ask them mid-squat when they're trying to lift heavy weights, but during a water break or between sets, it's ideal. It acknowledges them and opens this low-stress avenue for them to respond without feeling like they're being interrogated.
And if you're at an event or a house party, try something as simple as, "How do you know the host?" These simple questions work incredibly well because they're natural, extremely low stakes, and very easy to answer. They open the door to a connection without ever feeling forced or awkward. Remember, the ultimate goal of your opening line isn't to be profoundly clever. You're not trying to dazzle someone with your wit. The goal is simply to just open the door.
Moving right along to Rule 2. Ask open-ended questions.
All right, so now that the door is open, you need conversational momentum to keep it from slamming shut. Think about the major difference between a closed and an open question. If you ask, "Do you like movies?" that is a classic closed question. It gets a simple yes or no, and then the conversation just drops dead. You're back to square one, awkwardly staring at each other in silence. Instead, try asking, "What kind of movies do you enjoy watching?" Instead of a dead end, this actually encourages people to talk. It naturally hands the baton over to them, giving them the space to share a bit more about their tastes, their personality, and themselves.
And that leads us seamlessly to Rule 3, the power of active listening.
Once they do start sharing those details with you, you immediately need to apply active listening. There's this huge misconception out there about what makes someone charismatic. A lot of people mistakenly think that communication is all about talking, being the loudest, the funniest, or the most entertaining person in the room. But the source material highlights a core truth here. Great communicators are actually great listeners. The real secret is paying close attention to what the other person is saying, really processing it, and then asking follow-up questions based on that specific information. It's all about being genuinely interested, rather than just trying to be interesting.
Let's look at exactly how that works in practice. If someone mentions in passing, "I love traveling," you lock onto that. You follow up with something like, "What's the best place you visited so far?" Do you see how that completely transforms the dynamic? Asking this specific follow-up keeps the conversation flowing completely naturally. Psychologically speaking, people love talking about themselves and their passions. By asking targeted follow-ups, you make the other person feel valued and heard. You're demonstrating that you actually care about what they just said, rather than just waiting for your turn to speak. And honestly, making someone feel heard makes them like you significantly more.
Up next is Rule 4. Body language speaks volumes. This rule focuses entirely on what you communicate to others without speaking a single word. And this is absolutely crucial, because your physical presence often speaks way louder than your vocabulary ever will. Our source breaks this down into 4 incredibly actionable steps. First, smile. It instantly warms up the interaction and signals that you're safe and friendly. Second, maintain eye contact to show you are fully present. Third, stand confidently with an open posture. And fourth, and this is a big one, critically, avoid looking at your phone. In today's highly digital age, giving someone your undivided, completely screen-free attention is a really rare and powerful compliment. By adopting these simple physical cues, you make yourself instantly more approachable.
All right, let's bring it all together with the challenge, your daily conversation challenge. Before we get to the challenge itself, we've got to address that lingering fear of making small mistakes. Let's be totally clear here. Stumbling over your words or having a brief awkward moment is a completely normal part of the learning process. You really need to internalize this fundamental truth. Every confident speaker was once nervous. Every great conversation, no matter how profound, always starts with a simple hello. So don't be afraid of small fumbles along the way. The more you practice these interactions, the easier they become. You don't need perfect words, and you definitely don't need a flawless delivery. You just need the courage to begin.
So I want to issue you a direct challenge based on this playbook. Today, your task is to start one conversation with someone new. It doesn't have to be some high-stakes networking event. It could be a classmate you've never spoken to, a colleague from another department, or literally just the cashier at your local store. Put these 4 rules into practice. Keep it simple, ask an open question, listen actively, and watch your body language. Remember, just one simple conversation has the potential to lead to a new friendship, unlock a totally unexpected opportunity, or even completely change the trajectory of your life.
Let's end on this question. Who will you say hello to today? Take this final thought with you as you step away from this explainer and out into the real world. Think about all the real people out there who are just as nervous as you are, just waiting for a simple, imperfect greeting to break the ice. The tools are right there in your hands, the pressure to be perfect is entirely off, and the opportunities for genuine connection are absolutely everywhere. You are quite literally one hello away from a completely different life. So, who's it going to be?